Good Morning America is a registered trademark of the Walt Disney Corporation, all rights reserved, and I just love to push those buttons. I'm a rebel. I probably shouldn't say that this time of the morning, but I don't know. Feeling pretty good. Happy Thursday, 6th day of May 2021. Jam-packed show for you today. This is the day that the weather is going to change. That big ridge of high pressure is moving to the east. Cold front coming our way. It's actually a combination of three storms that are all going to get together, have themselves a little party, and pay us a visit. Later on this afternoon into the evening hours, going to be windy, going to be a lot cooler, 20 degrees cooler from today's forecast high to Friday's forecast high. Dramatic shift. It's a vigorous cold front. So we're going to be in the lower 80s today. We hit 73 yesterday. We'll be maybe 10 degrees warmer than that for our afternoon high today, and then we'll be 20 degrees cooler tomorrow, and we're going to be dealing with very windy conditions as well. Forecast details are right around the corner. We got some news for you to pass along. We believe that our viewers should be informed with what's happening around the Wenatchee Valley in north central Washington, so we'll bring you your headlines. We'll have sports. What a game yesterday for Mr. Means. 27 up, 27 down, but it wasn't a perfect game. He made history. The Mariners were no hit for the 6th time in franchise history. We got highlights. Plus, we'll preview the weekend in prep sports. We'll have the obscure holiday, some celebrity birthdays. Today in history, Mike McNally's got an opinion about assault weapons. And we continue our Chelan tribute. All this week, we have been profiling the good people who make the Lake Chelan Valley hum as good as it does, and Erin McCardle gets the honors today. She's the executive director of the Historic Chelan Downtown Association. So Erin and I got a chance to catch up last week. We'll show that to you in the back half of the hour. And Pause for Pets. Yeah, it's Thursday. Pause for Pets. We got a couple of little bitty bunny rabbits, Mickey and Scooter. I wonder if they were named after Mickey Mantle and Phil Rizzuto of the Yankees. I don't know, but rabbits needs home too, so we'll have that for you before we wrap up this program. All right, it's mild, 54 degrees, high clouds. Let's take our tour around the Wenatchee Valley. As you can see, the high clouds are here. And with the high clouds that rolled in yesterday afternoon into the evening hours, it put the blanket on the valley, which is why it's so mild, 54 degrees. It's 60 in Moses Lake right now, so we're already on our way to the lower 80s. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley from our cross camera at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights, and here we go, Megan's Choice. She wants to see what's happening at Omi Gardens. Oh me, oh my. Omi Gardens looking almost directly over to the cross camera. I think I'll wave to it. Hi, cross camera. Otabashan Bridge at the bottom of your screen. Just a little bit of the Stimel complex and some of the fruit storage facilities and packing sheds in the lower right-hand corner. Of course, they're working on the Otabashan Bridge 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on this repaving and maintenance project. They do this about every 10 years, and so it is still 35-mile-an-hour speed limit over the Otabashan Bridge between Easy Street to Cascade, and there's some detours and stuff like that, but they're getting the job done. Just a heads up, it'll take you a little longer than normal to cruise over the Otabashan Bridge over the next couple of weeks. Camera number 3 is a slow dissolve to McNeil Canyon. Look how green it is there. The very tip top of McNeil Canyon, and then we have a tower, and then we have a camera on top of the tower. And speaking of Chelan, there it is. I suppose they're in the process of filling the lake back up again. I know the Stehekin River is really roaring with the snowmelt in the upper elevations of the Cascades. It's not going to reach flood stage, but the National Weather Service says the Stehekin is really packing a punch, and it's filling up the lake. So my guess is they're starting that process. Good morning to Lake Chelan. That's the Chelan Butte, by the way, to your left. Camera number 4. Well, hello, Kashmir. Good to see you. Hello, Wenatchee River from our Apple Annie's camera. The Riverside Park is in the right-hand part of your screen. All the orchards are in full bloom and starting that process. And we can see Steins Hill off to the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Good morning to Kashmir. I'm waving to the good captain right now, although he can't see me. Good stuff. Nicely done this morning, Megan. 5 minutes after the hour, boy, did we have we had an extraordinarily dry spring. In fact, record-breaking. Check this out from the National Weather Service. This is the total rainfall for March and April, and by golly, we set a record for that 2-month period. Normally, you take March and April, you combine the two, we would have 1.30 inches of rain, about 1 1/3 inches of rain on a normal year. This March and April, 0.12 inches of rain. That is the driest on record. Wow. So, yes, it has been dry. Obviously, as you can see, Lewiston, Bonners Ferry, Lind, and Mazama all had record dry March and April. These 2 months combined, it is dry. We need the rain, and unfortunately, they have backed off the rain forecast from earlier. They said at one time we had about a 40% chance of rain tonight. Now they say we're probably not going to get any rain. So yeah, if you think it was a very dry March and April, it was. It broke records. And it is going to be windy this afternoon. The winds will pick up and the clouds will really thicken up right around 3 this afternoon. So look out for some gusty conditions in the late afternoon, early evening hours, and pretty much all day on Friday. Because of the lack of rain, very worried about some blowing dust out in the Columbia Basin. They've plowed the fields and there's not a lot to hold the soil to the earth. And so, yeah, could see some blowing dust on the I-90 corridor in the Moses Lake, Ritzville area. We will find out as the day progresses. But as we go through this Thursday, you'll notice the wind picking up. It's really going to start getting going about 3 to 4 this afternoon with very gusty conditions for everybody in our viewing area. You ready to hop on the roller coaster? Because here we go. We're going up and then we're going down. Partly cloudy skies today. We'll top off right around 81, 82, 83, right in that general area. I'm thinking 83 is going to be spot on because we're pretty mild right now. Very little wind this morning, picks up in intensity this afternoon, and by sunset tonight, a little after 8 o'clock, it's going to be very windy. Clouds tonight in the early evening hours. Eventually they will move out. Here comes that cold front, that vigorous cold front I was telling you about. Going to be windy all night tonight. Gusts above 30. A distinct possibility, 44 for the overnight low. And look at the temperature on Friday. Look at the high. That's it. 64 degrees. We'll have sunshine tomorrow, but it's going to be cool and it's going to be windy pretty much all day on Friday. Friday night, the vigorous cold front begins to leave the area, but the cold air that is bringing in is going to hang around. On Saturday, only about 67 degrees. Not a lot of wind on Saturday. All in all, very pleasant, just a few degrees below normal for our afternoon high on Saturday. But the overnight low, obviously, Friday night into Saturday morning, very cool. 44 for the overnight low Saturday night. Into Sunday we go, and we start warming up. 70, 75, 79. So most of next week will be sunny, warm, and dry. But here comes the wind and the cold temperatures, or cool temperatures, I should say, will be heading our way this afternoon and Friday. All right, that is your forecast. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have your Thursday morning news. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. Chelan Wireless is your Verizon authorized retailer featuring the latest iPhone and Android devices. Personal or business, they have the plan and the customer service you're looking for.
In these challenging times, Bear Foods is open and ready to help. From health to diet to home, we are here to take care of your needs. Bear Foods, the good food store.
From home furnishings to the latest in home entertainment technology, Deepwater Home and Electronics can provide the selection and the connection for your wireless world.
Water is essential to living. From clean drinking water for good health to clean water for your pool or spa. Central Washington Water, your water experts. With whole home water filtration systems for your home's best water. Products and supplies to keep your pool and spa water crystal clear. To a full parts department. Count on Central Washington Water for expert help. Shop screen to screen. Come in or call about a backyard consultation. Central Washington Water, your water care professionals.
55 degrees with high clouds. We'll see high clouds with a few sun breaks. We'll be in the lower 80s for our high this afternoon. The wind will be picking up in intensity as we go through this Thursday, and it's going to be breezy and sunny and kind of chilly. Come Friday, we'll have quite a bit of wind this afternoon, all day Friday, and right on into Friday night. And here are your headlines. A Wenatchee man is dead after a fatal fall on a hiking trail along the Rogue River in Oregon. 77-year-old Ernest James Bowles was pronounced dead at a local airport after a Coast Guard helicopter crew recovered him from a cliffside on Tuesday night. Authorities say Bowles' hiking companions summoned help using a personal satellite tracker just before 6:30 p.m. Again, this was on Tuesday. The two were hiking the Rogue River Trail outside Galice, Oregon. The Josephine County Sheriff's Office said as of yesterday morning, the search continued for Bowles' companion, who was not found at the rescue site. A $2.2 million bridge on a mudslide-prone stretch of Lake Chelan shoreline could help prevent future road closures there. South Lakeshore Drive at Slide Ridge has seen seasonal washouts in 9 of the last 18 years thanks to the steep cliffside above it. Chelan County Commissioners on Tuesday awarded a contract to KRCI Construction of East Wenatchee. They're going to construct a bridge and a culvert that would channel the debris flow under that section of road. The work is slated to begin in November. That's when Chelan County PUD does their annual drawdown of Lake Chelan. Horizon Air is scheduled to add a third flight between Seattle and the Wenatchee Valley. That starts in June. The Chelan-Douglas Regional Port Authority, which oversees Pangbourne Memorial Airport, they say overall passenger volumes dropped about 25% last year during the pandemic, but that was far less than other airports in the Northwest, and that prompted Horizon to add the new flight. The port says it's still working on other flight options to keep the airport healthy, including a direct flight between Pangbourne and the San Francisco Bay Area. If you notice those big plumes of smoke on the hill south of Wenatchee yesterday afternoon, it wasn't a wildfire, it was a controlled burn up the Stemilt Basin. Chelan County Fire District 1 and the State Department of Natural Resources personnel were working on that burn, so that was not a wildfire. That was supposed to be there. Also on Wednesday, Forest Service crews were able to do a prescribed burn of about 50 acres in the Blue Pass area. With the wind in the forecast, there won't be any controlled burning today. At a ceremony in Tukwila on Tuesday, Governor Jay Inslee signed Washington's new capital gains tax on large-scale stock and bond sales into law. He also put his signature to a tax exemption that will aid about 500,000 working families in the state. Inslee said the two bills may be the pinnacle of the legislation that he's signed in his 3 terms.
We know that, as Lincoln said, a house divided cannot stand. An economy divided between the haves and have-nots cannot stand either. And we are today in a state of huge wealth and huge homelessness. And we cannot remain passive and accept a status quo that would allow these twin forces of inequality, of technological advance and globalization, to sweep over our state. It is too precious. We care about justice too much. We refuse to live and accept a society of massive poverty amongst massive wealth.
That's your news on this Thursday morning. We'll have a newscast for you tonight. Eric handles sports, and then we have our award-winning news crew of Cal and Jefferson and Grant and everybody else who participates, and we'll have some news for you at 5, 6, and 10. It's also available for you to watch on demand on our website and on our YouTube page. With the preview, here's Grant Olson.
Thanks, and good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we'll have our weekly Pause for Pets feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Our unseasonably warm weather will come to an end tomorrow with wind and much cooler temperatures. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom will have a wrap on the Mariners-Orioles series as the M's have a day off today. That and all the latest day's news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
I make a point of watching the news. We hope you do too. And don't forget, we'd love to hear from you, our viewers. You can use our Facebook app. Go to our Facebook page and drop us a note on the messenger. We'd love to hear from you. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, or if you go to our homepage, we populate it on a regular basis with all the latest news, and you can also find our archives there as well. You'll see a contact icon at the top of the page. You can click on that and fill out the form, and we'll get it right here at the Broadcast Metroplex. When we come back, sports, John Means, about as close to perfect as you could get without actually throwing a perfect game. We'll have highlights of the Orioles and the Mariners. We'll talk prep sports as well. We'll have the obscure holiday today in history, some celebrity birthdays. Everybody is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. Pause for Pets, and my conversation with Erin up in beautiful Chelan. All coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think I'll sell my veggies at the market.
Do you even remember to water the house plants?
do this? You can do this.
Hey, we need to build a home office. We're adding another bathroom.
I think I'll study programming.
Bro, you can't even connect your phone to Bluetooth.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I'm a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
"16 minutes after the hour, John Means was as close as you can get to throwing a perfect game without actually throwing a perfect game. The Baltimore lefty threw a no-hitter against the Mariners. Orioles 6, Mariners zip. How close to perfect was he? Sam Haggerty, the only Seattle player to reach base in the third inning, and that was on a dropped third strike, and then he was thrown out trying to steal second base. So according to the Elias Sports Bureau, Means threw the first non-perfect no-hitter in which the opposing team did not record a walk, a hit by a pitch, or an error.
A feeble swing there as he got in on the hands. One down. 3-2 to France. And he gets them. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the day for John Means, who shakes his head, I think, thinking about the pitch before. And the 3-game series. Good night, everybody. Yeah, Evan White called out, strike number 3, third strikeout for John Means.
That's when you start to take it for granted.
1-2, breaking ball gets away from Severino, and Haggerty is going to be the first to reach on a strikeout.
And it got right underneath the glove. No more than 3 earned runs.
Haggerty running the throw. It's a dandy, and Severino has his first caught stealing of the year. Gunned it down there right on the money.
Yeah, Haggerty not sure. He's wanting to take a look at it, but what a throw by Pedro Severino. And watch this. Fake bunt attempt. Comes up, squares the shoulder, and I mean, you can't throw it any better than that. Now, that's close because the tag was up the thigh, it looked like. We'll see if the foot got in or not. I think he's out right there. He is definitely out. Really good tag by Ramon Urias.
And he gets him. 1-2-3 go the Mariners in the 4th inning. Means is cooking. Orioles lead at 2-0.
It just opens up the outside part.
And that's where he goes. Yep. Down on strikes goes Evan White. Strikeout number 6 for John Means is just rolling through the Mariners. Through 5, Orioles 2-0. And he did last year. Wow. There's the changeup. Down he goes. Strikeout number 7 for Means.
Pitches now, so getting to the end for him.
2-2, and he's out of there. 3-2, he gets him.
He has put on a clinic so far today.
Seager bounced to the right side. Mountcastle will take it himself.
Come right back to it because I just threw that pitch.
And he did. He got him. Murphy down on strikes, second out in the 8th.
That means
1-2 to White, and he gets him. Strikeout number 11. Here comes the 2-2. Got him. 2 down in the 9th. Strikeout number 12. So it comes down to J.P. Crawford. First pitch swinging, line drive, he's done it. John Means has no hit. The Mariners and the Orioles mob him. The first no-hitter for the Orioles in 30 years. The first complete game no-hitter since Jim Palmer did it 52 years ago in 1969.
Means improved to 4-0 on the season with the win. He lowered his ERA to 1.37. UC Kikuchi threw fine. Still had to take the loss, though. He allowed 3 runs, 5 hits in 7 innings, 7 strikeouts. But the day belonged, of course, to Means and the Orioles, who take 2 of 3 of the series. The Mariners head to Texas to begin a weekend series. It starts tomorrow at 7:05. The Rangers were the only team in the AL West to actually win a game yesterday. To the scoreboard we go. Aaron Hicks had an RBI base hit in the bottom of the 8th inning in a game that I watched. That broke a 3-3 tie, and New York went on to score 2 more in the inning to beat Houston 6-3. Nick Solak scored from third on a wild pitch in a 2-run 6th inning. That gave Texas a 3-1 win over Minnesota. Brandon Lowe's 3-run homer in the top of the 7th. That was the difference for Tampa Bay. The Rays beat the Angels 3-1 in Anaheim, and Ronald Grichuk 3 for 5 drove in 2 runs to lead Toronto past Oakland 9-4. The A's bullpen faltered down the stretch. They allowed 7 runs on 5 hits with 4 walks in the final 2 innings. So Oakland's lead over Seattle remains at 2 games headed into today. Houston 3 games back. Texas climbed out of last place with Wednesday's win, and they're now a half a game ahead of the Angels. Oakland has the best record in Major League Baseball at 19-13. The difference between the A's and 11 other teams in the American League is only 4.5 games. That is parity in baseball. Going to be a busy next couple of days of high school sports here, so we're going to give you a quick heads up on what's happening. Baseball tomorrow, you got Moses Lake hosting Eastmont in a doubleheader. That begins at 4 o'clock. The Kashmir JV will host Pateras, 1 game at 4:30. The softball schedule begins with 4 doubleheaders today. You got Waterville Mansfield hosting Pateras, and Oroville visits Liberty Bell. They'll start at 3. Kashmir takes on Royal, and Manson will play at the Moses Lake JV at 3:30. And then on Friday, Lake Roosevelt visits Liberty Bell at 3. Eastmont and Wenatchee. Now that doubleheader has been moved from Saturday to tomorrow at 4 o'clock at the Sterling Fourplex. We're trying to figure out if we can cover that game here on the NCAA Live channel. Boys soccer today. Brewster will host Okanagan. Pateras visits Liberty Bell at 4 o'clock. Tomorrow, you got Bridgeport traveling to Okanagan at 4. Quincy at the undefeated Wenatchee Panthers will be at the Apple Bowl at 7 o'clock, and Kashmir will host Royal. The postseason in track and field begins today at Quincy High with the South Division Sub-Regional Championships. 15 high schools will be competing there. They start at 4 o'clock. Wenatchee's track will be the site tomorrow for the North Central Region Championships, as the Panthers will host Cascade Christian, Cascade, Kashmir, Chelan, and Eastmont. The field events start at noon. They'll start running at 1 o'clock. And by the way, if anybody ever sees me running, that means somebody is chasing me. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. On this Thursday, 22 minutes after the hour, I had 4 obscure holidays to choose from. I could have picked National Crepe Suzette Day. I don't even know who she is. National Beverage Day, International No Diet Day, but we love our nurses. Today is National Nurses Day. It actually begins National Nurses Week, which runs from May 6th to May 12th, which marks the birthday, May 12th does, of Florence Nightingale, of course, the founder of modern nursing. National Nurses Day had its origins back in 1953. Dorothy Sutherland wrote a letter. She worked for the Department of Health in Washington, D.C., and she wrote a letter to President Eisenhower saying we should have a national day to celebrate the good work that nurses do. Ike didn't do anything. She never got a response. So she wrote to JFK, who didn't do anything, and then she wrote to LBJ, who didn't do anything, and then she wrote to Nixon, who finally said, yeah, okay. In 1974, Richard Nixon declared National Nurses Week, and then finally in 1982, the Congress declared May 6th to be National Nurses Day. It was signed into law by President Reagan. So there you go. Nurses today do a lot of things that only doctors did, say, 50 years ago today. So the nurses of today are highly trained and quite professional, much more than they were, say, 50 years ago. Hi, nurses. Happy National Nurses Day today. 24 minutes after the hour. Today in history. Well, it had to end sometime, you know. All good things must come to an end. And for the Renaissance, for all intent and purposes, this was pretty much the end of it. It was 494 years ago today, May 6th, 1527, 20,000 Spanish, German, and Italian troops sack Rome. Scholars consider this event to be the end of the Renaissance. Yeah, sorry about that. They actually kidnapped the Pope. They held the Pope hostage. The Pope had to pay a huge ransom just to be released. That's a serious sacking right there. So they looted and burned and made Rome just kind of one big dump on this date back in 1527. This is the 106th anniversary of the very first home run that George Herman Babe Ruth ever hit in Major League Baseball. He was also the starting pitcher that day, pitching for the Boston Red Sox. There's the box score at the bottom of the screen. You see Babe Ruth, who hit his very first Major League home run on this date 106 years ago. He would hit 713 more. Babe Ruth actually hit more the 714 home runs, but they didn't change the rules for quite a few years. If you hit a home run that won the game, only the winning run, if the home run wasn't the winning run, would count, and so you wouldn't get a game-winning home run. That happened on more than one occasion to Babe Ruth. Anyway, home run number 1 of many, many hit on the state, May 6, 1915. The Hindenburg, yeah. The German Zeppelin, the Hindenburg, caught fire and was destroyed within a matter of a minute. It was attempting to dock at Lakehurst, New Jersey. Of the 97 people on board, 35 were killed, an additional fatality of a crew member on the ground. And so every May 6th gives me a chance to play this again.
It's starting to rain again. The rain had cracked up a little bit. The back motors of the ship are just holding it just enough to keep it from... It bursts into flames. Get it started, get it started. It's fighting, and it's crashing. It's crashing terrible. Oh, my, get out of the way, please. It's burning, bursting into flames, and it's falling on the mooring mast and all the folks between it. This is terrible. This is one of the worst catastrophes in the world. Oh, it's like 400 or 500 feet into the sky, and it's a terrific crash, ladies and gentlemen. The smoke and the flames now, and the flame is crashing to the ground, not quite to the mooring mast. All the humanity and all the passengers speeding around it. I can't even talk to people whose friends are on there. I can't talk, ladies and gentlemen. Honest, it's just laying down massive smoking wreckage. And everybody can't hardly breathe and talk and screaming. Lady, I'm sorry. Honestly, I can hardly breathe. I'm going to step inside while I cannot see it. Charlie, that's terrible. Listen, folks, I'm going to have to stop for a minute because I've lost my voice. This is the worst thing I've ever witnessed.
As you might imagine, that was pretty much the end of people traveling over the Atlantic Ocean on blimps. By the way, what caused the Hindenburg to catch fire? Nobody knows. It was never solved. There are about a dozen different theories, everything from sabotage to just oops, but there she was. This is the 67th anniversary of Roger Bannister's historic run. There were people who said it was physically impossible for a human being to run a mile in under 4 minutes. Roger Bannister proved them wrong. On this date, May 6th, 1954, to the film we go.
3/4 of a mile, the effort was still barely perceptible. The time was 3 minutes, 0.7 seconds, and by now the crowd was roaring. A 4-minute mile was possible. Somehow, to do it, I had to run the last lap in 59 seconds. Chataway led round the next bend, and then I pounced past him at the beginning of the back straight, 300 yards from the finish. I had a moment of mixed joy and anguish when my mind took over. It raced well ahead of my body and drew me compellingly forward. I felt that the moment of a lifetime had come. Those last few seconds seemed never-ending. The faint line of the finishing tape stood ahead as a haven of peace after the struggle. I leapt at the tape, like a man taking his last spring to save himself from the chasm that threatens to engulf him.
I get tired driving a mile. By the way, Roger Bannister held the world record for the mile for about 2 weeks, and then it was broken. And he never got the record back again, but history was made 67 years ago today, because this is called Today in History. And finally, the big tunnel, 27 years ago today, for the first time since the Ice Age, England and continental Europe connected. Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom and Francois Mitterrand, the Premier of France, officiate the opening of the Channel Tunnel, the Channel, and here it is.
The Queen started her historic journey from the new Channel Tunnel terminal at London's Waterloo Station, aboard one of the Eurostar passenger trains that will eventually whisk travellers from London to Paris and Brussels in around 3 hours. Today she was going only as far as Calais to meet the French President Francois Mitterrand. Her Majesty's train entered the tunnel at Folkestone to applause from those on board. Emerging half an hour later in France, where the President's train was waiting at the platform in Calais. Safety normally precludes two trains travelling on the same line in opposite directions, but today the French and British locomotives came to rest nose to nose, feet apart. Welcomed by her host, the Queen joined President Mitterrand in simultaneously cutting a ribbon, officially opening the Under-Channel link. The project a year behind schedule and costing twice the original estimate of nearly £5 billion.
Yeah, I mean, we're not alone in cost overruns on major public construction projects. They do it in Europe too, a year late and twice as much as it was supposed to cost. 31 minutes after the hour, birthdays. The founder of psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud, born in this state in 1856, died in 1939 at the age of 83. Ego, superego, superego. We all have those people in our lives. The idea of free association, Sigmund Freud. I try to read some of his works. It's way over my head. But he was smarter than me, so we're going to put his birthday up there. Born in the state in 1856. Also born on this date in 1856, the guy who claimed to be the first person to reach the North Pole in April of 1909, Robert Peary. Probably didn't. The problem was, well, there was a lot of problems. He wasn't the best map maker in the world, and some other things as well. The problem was his entire expedition was underwritten by the National Geographic Society, and the National Geographic Society did not want to have egg on their face, so they just basically said, yeah, he made it. In 1989, the National Geographic Society came out with a statement that said he actually probably didn't. Anyway, Robert Peary, born in the state in 1856. Orson Welles, considered by many the greatest filmmaker this country has ever produced. Obviously, Citizen Kane, The Magnificent Ambersons, A Touch of Evil. Orson Welles, born in the state in 1915, died of a heart attack in Las Vegas in 1985 at the age of 70, but you can still watch the movies. The Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays, is 90 years old today. He is the oldest living member of baseball's Hall of Fame. It was a bad year for Hall of Famers last year. We lost Al Kaline and Tom Seaver and Bob Gibson and Whitey Ford and Joe Morgan, all those great baseball players. But Willie Mays is still kicking. .302 career batting average, 3,283 hits, 660 home runs. His WAR, which in baseball means wins above replacement, which is maybe the most important stat of them all, is wins above replacement is 5th all time. That's impressive. And he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1979. Happy birthday to the Say Hey Kid. He's 90 years old today. Bob Seger has sold as many records as he is old. He sold 76 million records, and he's 76 years old today. The pride of Michigan. We love Bob Seger. Rock on, Bob. He's 76 years old today. And this is going to make you feel old. George Clooney is 60, and he has this. He shares this remarkable feat with Walt Disney. George Clooney has been nominated for Academy Awards in 6 different categories. Only Walt Disney can match that. Happy 60th birthday, George Clooney. 34 minutes after the hour, we have an opinion from Mike Mignotti about assault weapons. We have my conversation with Erin McCardle, the executive director of the Historic Chelan Downtown Association. First things first, Copra Widow Booty Wabbits need a home. Mickey and Scooter do. It's Pause for Pets with Megan McPherson.
Hey everyone, Megan here with the NCW Life Channel. We are here with Tammy, the foster volunteer at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and Mickey and Scooter are joining us this week. Can you tell us about these guys?
Sure. This is Mickey, and he's considered a Holland Lock, and his little mate we named Scooter, and he's what's called a Hoto rabbit, and they're a bonded pair. Once we got them both fixed, they've gotten along great. Mickey's the shyer one and less active, and his buddy Scooter is kind of his little grounding friend. They love to eat. Bunnies like to eat kale and parsley and carrots, of course. Mickey's a little bit on the somewhat shy side because he had a very damaged eye when he arrived at the shelter, so the wonderful vets here removed it successfully. So he has one eye, so he's a little compromised in kind of getting his bearings, but Scooter kind of takes care of him. So we're looking for a home that doesn't probably have dogs. I don't think they've ever been around dogs, unless you have a really, really mellow one. Little kids are not the best fit for rabbits, just because rabbits don't really like to be picked up. They are totally litter box trained.
And what's the adoption process for them?
You just need to contact, my email is on the website. It's tammypa@earthlink.net. And the adoption fee for these two is $80. So we'll just talk to you about, you know, why you want bunnies, maybe your experiences with them. You don't have to have experience. We've adopted a few bunnies after fostering that had never had a rabbit. Yeah, just contact me on my email address and let's chat. These two are really, really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, buddy.
Baby.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open by appointment only. Call them at 509-662-9577 to schedule a meet and greet or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
With TV advertising, what we want to do is more deeply connect with the community.
People spot me in different parts around North Central, you know, Costco and Wenatchee, say, hey, you're the pizza guy. And so they wouldn't know that if it weren't for the TV commercials we've done.
We've been here so long that people already know who we are and what we do, but to have that image flash on their television screen as opposed to just hearing it in the radio or seeing it in the newspaper, I just love the fact that we can actually put our finger on when a customer comes in and says, I saw your ad.
It's becoming increasingly difficult in this digital age to know where are your customers listening or watching, because I watch all the different channels that they watch too, like Cooking Channel, History Channel, and so it was wonderful to be able to be on there.
I would say that if you want to do business in Wenatchee, then you should connect with the people of Wenatchee, and there's no better way to do that than with NCW Life.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the Diagnostic Doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units. JDSA Law is a proud sponsor of these local sports broadcasts. They've been serving North Central and Eastern Washington since 1946. For over 70 years, their team of dedicated professionals has delivered quality, innovative legal services. JDSA Law partners with you to provide the finest legal advice and support as you navigate your personal and business challenges, risks, and accomplishments. At JDSA Law, they salute our local athletes and wish them well on another excellent season of competition.
One of the funnest and finest musical events in the Pacific Northwest is happening right here in the Chelan Valley. The Lake Chelan Wine and Jazz Festival is back and better than ever. 4 days, 10 beautiful venues, 13 artists in 23 unique performances. Wine tasting, shopping, and food are also on the menu for this premier event. Get your tickets now for this amazing experience with net proceeds benefiting local charities. We'll see you at this year's Lake Chelan Wine and Jazz Festival.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around north central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
What is it about Tipsy Canyon Winery that keeps people coming back? Is it the magnificent view from the hillside tasting room? Is it the exceptional but affordable wines? Or is it just the fact that you feel right at home from the minute you walk through the door? Actually, it's all this and more. Experience the Tipsy Canyon Winery located just outside of Manson. Your new home away from home.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, the Federal Assault Weapons Ban of 1994 banned the following weapons: semi-automatic rifles that were able to accept detachable magazines and have two or more of the following: a folding or telescoping stock, a pistol grip, a bayonet mount, a flash suppressor, and a grenade launcher. Okay, fine. But you know what weapon the ban didn't cover? A Ruger Mini 14 rifle. What's relevant about this weapon is that it shoots in semi-automatic mode, can accept a 30-round magazine, and fires a .223 caliber round, just like the AR-15. But the Ruger's not considered an assault weapon. Give that some thought. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue.
Currently, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is open for dine-in and take-out. Owner Justin Hefner and his staff are just as excited as you to get back to their regularly scheduled full menu, music, and poker, so stay tuned. Meanwhile, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is serving a limited menu for lunch and dinner, dine-in or take-out.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family.
Hi, I'm Shauna Larson. I'm the designated broker here at Laura Mounter Real Estate. We are a locally owned firm, and we've worked hard to earn our reputation of always doing business the right way. Laura Mounter Real Estate is continually investing in the best technologies and highest quality marketing. For these reasons, our community has voted us the world's best real estate office for the past 5 years. If you have real estate needs, let a Laura Mounter Real Estate agent show you the difference.
Building. It's in our blood. Building something out of nothing. It takes heart, grit, and hard work. At One Way Construction, our crew is our family. With decades of contracting experience and our in-house design team, we bring a unique perspective to building. We know that if we work together, we are capable of reaching heights that are impossible to reach alone. The possibilities are endless.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. We are right outside Campbell's Resort and Conference Center, right at the very bottom of Lake Chelan. Erin has been so kind to join us. She wears many hats. We're not going to talk about all of the hats that she wears. We're going to talk specifically about downtown Chelan, which I think, Erin, kind of gets a bit of a short shrift. And when you spend some time in downtown Chelan and you meet the merchants and the people, this place has a vibe, and people need to know about it, don't they?
Absolutely. You know, since we moved here, my family, 15, 16 years ago, I've always said what makes our downtown so special is the unique, quirky personalities that you're going to meet in every single shop downtown. And that really hasn't changed over the years. And you can go into any store and spend a good 30, 45 minutes having a conversation with the business owner, finding things that you're not going to find anywhere else, and just even the character of the buildings downtown is phenomenal.
How did I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this question, Erin? How did COVID affect downtown Chelan in the summer? And who's kidding who? Summer is it.
Right.
How did COVID affect downtown Chelan in the summer of 2020?
It kind of hit us off course. You know, everyone obviously went into a state of shock in March when everything shut down. There's a lot of things that were unknown. How do we prepare? We saw people coming over here to stay in their second homes to escape other areas of the state. And so as business owners downtown, we were really struggling with how do we keep our business owners safe, our staff safe, but also handle a large group of people coming to the area that we weren't expecting really. And then summer hit and we had a lot of people in town. And it was this careful balance between you know, store restrictions and COVID restrictions, but also providing spectacular customer service and wanting to make people have a great time when they were in the valley for the summertime.
But it worked out okay, didn't it? I mean,
did.
It was a phenomenal, all things considered, 2020 was a pretty good year.
It was a great year for our downtown, and what I'm most proud about our downtown, and we couldn't have done this without the support of so many other organizations around the area, but we had 4 brand new businesses start during COVID in downtown, and we didn't lose a single business. So crossing our fingers that continues, but our downtown is doing pretty well. And it's not to say that we don't have struggles and each business doesn't have struggles, but I was most proud of how everyone banded together, our whole community banded together to help our downtown businesses get through COVID.
This is a very big umbrella, but I'm going to ask you anyway. When people associate Chelan and business, they think Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Right.
And then from Labor Day to Memorial Day, they everybody shuts down and it kind of becomes kind of a quiet little village.
That's old school.
That's a myth. It's a fallacy, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
No, downtown is alive and well all year round. You know, traditionally, Memorial Day to Labor Day has been our season, but with the Chamber of Commerce and different organizations, we've been focusing really hard on expanding those shoulder seasons. So now you go Labor Day, but then the audience shifts, and we're still going through September, through October. November, I feel like we get to take a breath for a few weeks, kind of regroup, and then holidays come around. And so then we've got the end of November, December, and then January's Winterfest, and it just keeps going. The wineries have really added a different component to our tourist season, and when the lake is not a viable option, because who wants to jump in the lake except for those crazy people during Winterfest during January, there's still so many other things to do. Wineries, we've got skiing, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, hiking. There's just so much to do even outside of the traditional summer seasons.
Having partaked in Winterfest, and I got to tell you, the first time I came up here, it blew me away. We had a wonderful time, first in Chelan on the first weekend, and we went up to Manson,
yep,
where they burned the big ice cube.
Big ice,
It
yep.
was just phenomenal.
Ice chimney. It's
the
an ice chimney
thing. But the thing that struck me is that it was almost all local people. Everywhere I went, it was like, "Hey Bob, hey Jerry, hey Barb." It was like this is our little thing just for us.
Yeah, keep it a secret. Don't really want anyone to know. Absolutely. In fact, so I ran Winterfest for many years, and we added in the Manson weekend because the first weekend was getting so big, and we thought, well, heck, there's so many other things to do. Why don't we just expand this? And it has maintained its little small town feeling, and it is exactly that. You know that the Manson weekend is really phenomenal beer. You've got all the great tasting rooms down in Manson, but you know 80% of the people that you're hanging out with down there. And it's growing, so the secret's getting out, but it's still a fun weekend.
I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that the biggest game changer in the whole Chelan Valley over the last 15, 20 years has been the wineries. That's been huge, hasn't it?
It's definitely been a catalyst to growing our off-season months. You know, you look at October and you've got harvest going on, and November, December, and January we really do have really fun outdoor recreation components, so that's built out our winter months. And then February is obviously red wine and chocolate, so they've definitely added to the mix. And I think also the addition of thinking of Lake Chelan as more than just the lake. It's really outdoor recreation any time of the year. It's almost like this perfect mix of all the things that you can do in Chelan. There's something there for everybody.
We're going to be talking to Holly at Siren Song Winery about the upcoming Jazz and Wine Fest, which is, I mean, a combination of two of my favorite things, wine
and music
and jazz music. What are some of the other events that might be under the radar that we need to know about coming up for spring and summer up here at Chelan?
Let's see. In summer, I'm so excited we're bringing this back. Obviously, all of our events were canceled last year, but we are just locking in our schedule for Music in the Park. So that's our summer concert series, and that is summertime. It's the first and third Sundays, 6 to 8 p.m. And then once we roll out of summer, we have there's three really fantastic events that I absolutely love. The first one is in September, and it's our Historic Downtown Chelan Association's auction for the year. And it's a farm-to-table dinner on the bridge. And so we sit outside, we watch the sunset and eat dinner, and it's a live auction. And that's in September. And then Dia de los Muertos is an event that we created and kicked off a couple years ago, and it's such a fabulous event to bring our entire community together. And that is in November. November 2nd is the actual date of that celebration. And then Small Town Holidays, which we completely had to recraft because of COVID. In the previous years, it was a lot of like a kids parade, you know, hundreds of kids running down the street, locked arm in arm, sitting on Santa's lap. So those were things we couldn't do in COVID. So we had to completely rethink Small Town Holidays in a COVID-friendly era. So which actually brought on some really fantastic new events. And that's November. It's the day after Thanksgiving through New Year's Eve.
Downtown Chelan is one big unbuilt upon place. All of these buildings have been built on the lot one time, and that's it. And that is really the key to the charm. When you walk by the Ruby Theater and you walk by all these old historic buildings that say established 1909, you get to feel that, don't you?
Yes, we have this plaque program, so I'm acutely aware of when these buildings have been built, which we're acknowledging the buildings that are 100+ years old. Well, that list is very long. We are very lucky in our downtown that, you know, our predecessors valued the architecture of the buildings that we have downtown, and so we have so much history in our buildings downtown, not only Ruby Theater, but the church and several other buildings downtown that are 100+ years old. And it's just a walk through history, and we've got a great walking tour map that you can get at the chamber that talks about all the different historical meanings behind the buildings, different artwork that we have downtown. So there is so much history downtown that you can spend a whole afternoon walking around learning about things in our downtown.
Heads up though, you will hurt the ends of your faces because you'll be smiling a lot. And if you haven't smiled a lot, these muscles will get sore really, really quick. I'm going to let you have the last word, Erin. Let's get the folks from the Wenatchee Valley up here and rediscover Chelan. I'll let you have the final word. Go right ahead.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I would just invite everyone to come on up to Historic Downtown Chelan, enjoy an afternoon, an evening, spend the night, discover our great little charming downtown. And
food. This place has some fantabulous food.
Yep.
I can personally attest to that. I really can. Erin, thanks for. I know you're a busy woman. I appreciate you taking some time out and visiting with us.
Thanks for coming and visiting us up here.
Anytime. I love it up here. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snow blowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the doghouse?
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Highlander Grill and Golf Course is known as one of the finest wedding venues in the Wenatchee area. You do not have to be a member to come to Highlander. Highlander Golf Course offers a first-class backdrop for your wedding day. Our friendly professional staff will ensure your wedding and reception is picture perfect, from every moment leading up to the I do's to when the lights go down at the end of your reception. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
Sitting pretty at 56 degrees outside of our studios. Moses Lake is already at 66 degrees. We're in for a very mild day today. Details are coming up. Huge change coming, though. A very robust and vigorous cold front rolls in later on this afternoon and into tonight. We have two slides we want to show to you. One of them is in regarding the lack of precipitation. These are the final statistics for the month of March and April, and you put them both together. And as you can see, we had the driest March-April combined precipitation since records have been kept. Normally, between March and April, those 2 months combined, we would have 1.30 inches of rain. For March and April of 2021, 0.12. That's a new record. It has been very dry. And speaking of dry, here comes the wind. Very gusty this afternoon and tonight, and really most of Friday as well before the wind finally dies down on Friday night. But the strongest winds definitely going to be in the overnight hours. It's going to start picking up in intensity about 2 or 3 this afternoon. By 4 o'clock, it's going to be very windy. By sunset tonight, shortly before 8:30, it's going to be blustery, and it's going to be blustery all night long and right on into Friday. So get ready for windy conditions. As I mentioned this about an hour ago, of course, they plowed a lot of the fields out of the Columbia Basin for the spring crops, and there's just not a lot of moisture out there. Well, as you saw, almost none, and there's nothing really holding the soil to the earth. So blowing dust on the I-90 corridor in the Moses Lake Ritzville area could very much be a concern tomorrow. All right, from the National Weather Service, take a look at this. How about partly cloudy and 83 today? That's not bad at all, right? That could be maybe the warmest day of the year, but that ridge of high pressure is already on its way eastward. It's going to head to Idaho and eventually Montana, so it's going to be like a half and half day. Half the day is going to be very nice, and then here comes the wind about 3 or 4 this afternoon. The clouds roll in. We'll get down to 44 degrees, and here comes that cold air. So we're going to be probably 20 degrees cooler for the afternoon high on Friday, only 64 degrees. We'll have sunshine, but only 64 degrees and very windy pretty much all day on Friday. Friday night's overnight low on the cool side, 40 for the overnight low. Our normal overnight low this time of the year is in the upper 40s, so it's going to be cool on Friday night into Saturday morning. Still some cold air going to be hanging around Saturday. We'll get up to about 67. That's a little bit below normal for this time of the year. And then we start, well, dry and warm and sunny on Monday, 75, near 80 on Tuesday, lower 80s perhaps on Wednesday, but things are going to be very active for this afternoon, tonight, and right on into Friday, with the big story being the strong winds and the much cooler temperatures coming our way on Friday. Tomorrow we wrap up our Chelan tribute, if you will, with Mike Cooney, who is the former mayor of Chelan. He's also one of the biggest proponents of affordable housing in the Lake Chelan Valley. Mike will be my guest tomorrow on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Make it a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.